Victor Gyokeres to Man United latest, strikers transfer decision announcement made, £60 million race. The latest Manchester United transfer news is the club have been heavily linked with a move for the Sporting CP striker this summer. Manchester United have already been active in the summer transfer window as they look to back head coach Ruben Amorim. Having completed the £62.5 million signing of Matheus Cunha from Wolves, United are also working on completing a deal for Brentford forward Bryan Mbeumo. The club are reported to have put a second bid on the table worth up to £60 million, but he's not the only player to be heavily linked with a move to Old Trafford this summer. Another name who keeps being mentioned is Sporting CP striker Victor Gyokeres. The Sweden international has caught the eye with his impressive goal-scoring exploits since arriving in Portugal from Coventry. Amorim is reportedly eyeing a reunion with his former striker. Gyokeres has an £85 million release clause in his contract, although Sporting are willing to take a fee of around £60 million for the player this summer. United, though, are not the only club interested, with Arsenal also heavily linked with the forward. Here's a look at the latest reports surrounding the 27-year-old. The club are ready to beat Arsenal to the signing of Gyokeres, according to The Sun. The report points to the dip in United's expenses shown in their latest quarterly results, meaning that they are ready to make a move for the striker. Ruben Amorim is said to be keen to raid his former club and beat Arsenal to the signing, while the Gunners work on a deal for Red Bull Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko. Our colleagues at the Mirror, however, report that the striker will pick a move to Arsenal, should he get a choice of the two clubs this summer. The opportunity to play Champions League football is outlined as one of the reasons. United's poor season in the Premier League and loss in the Europa League final against Tottenham means that's something they can't provide next season. Announcement made. It was announced earlier in the week that Gyokeres would not be taking part in either of Sweden's two matches over the current international break due to a minor injury. Sweden took on Hungary in Budapest on Friday night, with goals from Benjamin Nygren and Yasin Ayari, giving them a 2-0 win. On Tuesday, they host Algeria, but will again be without Gyokeres. He left the camp with what was described as a minor injury. At the heart of Gyokeres' potential move to Manchester United is a question that extends far beyond football tactics or wage negotiations. It's about purpose, a deep-rooted desire to challenge himself at the highest level, to contribute to something greater, and to leave a mark on one of football's most storied clubs. This is not a decision taken lightly. For Victor, every step in his career has been calculated not just by potential success, but by alignment with his personal vision. At Sporting CP, Gyokeres has flourished. His physicality, finishing and work rate have made him a standout figure, and his performances have turned heads across Europe. Yet as his stock rises, he's not driven by fame or headlines. What drives him is the opportunity to play a pivotal role in a team that's trying to reclaim its greatness. And Manchester United, with all its legacy, ambition and current transition, presents precisely that. This move is not about chasing a pay rise or simply making the next logical leap from the Portuguese league to the Premier League. Gyokeres sees Manchester United as a project, a club that, while rich in history, finds itself in search of a new identity. A team in desperate need of players who don't just play with skill, but with commitment, responsibility, and a sense of duty. This is what draws him in. He doesn't just want to be a star striker. He wants to be part of something transformative, and that's where his purpose sharpens into focus. Gyokeres is not a player who shies away from responsibility. At every club, from Coventry to Sporting, he's taken on challenges that required more than talent. They required resilience, leadership, and clarity of intent. He doesn't view the spotlight as pressure. He views it as a platform. At Manchester United, should the transfer go through, he sees the opportunity to not just score goals, but to help restore belief, hunger, and a winning mentality in a team that has long been searching for consistency. The price tag, reportedly £60 million, is not just a financial detail. It's a reflection of the value Manchester United place on Gyokeres, not just as a player, but as a symbol of the direction they want to move in, toward discipline, intensity, and purpose-driven football. For Victor, this is the true appeal. He doesn't want to join a team that wins only when everything clicks perfectly. Man United make Victor Osimhen and Victor Gyokeres transfer decision as no-risk option emerges. Manchester United are already being linked with their next transfer move should Bryan Mbeumo complete his switch to Old Trafford. Manchester United's summer transfer window is hotting up as we sit just 4 days away from it temporarily closing. United have been quick to take advantage of the exceptional registration period brought about by the Club World Cup, announcing the signing of Matheus Cunha from Wolverhampton Wanderers on the first day of the window. Brentford's Bryan Mbeumo appears to be next up on the Reds' wish list, having bagged 20 goals last season for the Bees. The Reds are firmly entrenched in talks with Brentford, but their business is not expected to be concluded once Mbeumo does sign. In our latest look at the media headlines, we are going to focus on the news surrounding a couple of strikers who have been heavily linked to United. According to ESPN's Mark Ogden, Osimhen is not a target for United, despite his availability. It is understood that United do not see the Nigerian as being the right fit for Ruben Amorim's forward line. Meanwhile, his £63 million asking price is thought to be considered a problem for the Reds. What we says? It is hard to see how United have come to the conclusion that Osimhen does not fit the system that Amorim is looking to build. Yes, Victor Gyokeres is more physically demanding, but it is not as though the Nigerian is weak and unable to lead the line on his own. His goal-scoring prowess speaks for itself, and surely that makes him worthy of taking a gamble. Napoli's asking price could be the leading reason behind United's interest reportedly coming to an end, but you have to wonder if the club are making the right call on this one. According to Sky Sports News, Sporting's talisman remains a favourite in the eyes of Amorim. It is understood that even if Mbeumo was to sign this summer, United would still be on the lookout for an unknown, and Gyokeres is on their list. What we says? Gyokeres' arrival would be a no-risk option for United this summer, and after the season they have just endured, that could be exactly what is needed. The Swede clearly knows how to play Amorim's system and knows how to perform to incredible standards under the Portuguese head coach's tuition. Arguably, the ex-Coventry City man does not fit the image of an Ineos signing considering his age, but United need less risks this window. Results are needed and fast, and ultimately, Gyokeres has proven that he can deliver. Manchester United's summer transfer window is hotting up as we sit just 4 days away from it temporarily closing. United have been quick to take advantage of the exceptional registration period brought about by the Club World Cup, announcing the signing of Matthias Cunha from Wolverhampton Wanderers on the first day of the window. Brentford's Brian Mbeumo appears to be next up on the Reds' wish list, having bagged 20 goals last season for the Bees. The Reds are firmly entrenched in talks with Brentford, but their business is not expected to be concluded once Mbeumo does sign. In our latest look at the media headlines, we're going to focus on the news surrounding a couple of strikers who have been heavily linked to United. According to ESPN's Mark Ogden, Osimhen is not a target for United despite his availability. It is understood that United do not see the Nigerian as being the right fit for Ruben Amorim's forward line. Meanwhile, his £63 million asking price is thought to be considered a problem for the Reds. The purpose behind United's apparent decision to walk away from Osimhen lies in a larger context than just price or profile. This transfer window is not simply about acquiring top names or headline-grabbing talent. It's about stability, system fit, and rebuilding purposefully after a turbulent season. United are clearly prioritising tactical compatibility and managerial vision over impulse buys or fan pressure. That's a bold shift from past transfer windows, where marquee names sometimes took precedence over cohesion. It's hard to see how United have come to the conclusion that Osimhen does not fit the system that Amorim is looking to build. Yes, a Victor Gyokeres is more physically demanding, but it is not as though the Nigerian is weak and unable to lead the line on his own. His goal-scoring prowess speaks for itself, and surely that makes him worthy of taking a gamble. Napoli's asking price could be the leading reason behind United's interest reportedly coming to an end, but you have to wonder if the club are making the right call on this one. Yet this speaks to United's evolving purpose, minimising risk, eliminating guesswork, and ensuring each signing fits like a piece in a carefully planned puzzle. Amorim is tasked not only with lifting results, but with building a new identity, a new rhythm, and a new direction. Manchester United are preparing to carry out back-to-back medical examinations at Carrington following the arrivals of Matthias Cunha and Brian Mbeumo, a decisive move that underlines the club's shifting approach in the transfer market under new leadership and renewed ambition. While medical tests are standard procedure in any transfer, the coordination and timing of these particular checks reveal something more significant. United are laying the groundwork not just for signings, but for structure, urgency, and a clear footballing identity. For a club that has spent several transfer windows reacting rather than planning, this synchronised process signals a return to strategy, one where purpose and preparation are front and centre. Matthias Cunha, secured from Wolverhampton Wanderers, is viewed as a key piece in Ruben Amorim's evolving system, a mobile forward capable of operating in both central and wide roles, offering tactical flexibility and a high work rate. Brian Mbeumo, following a 20-goal season at Brentford, represents proven Premier League quality, with pace, precision, and an eye for goal that United sorely lacked in stretches last season. But it's not just their individual skill sets that matter, it's the timing, the method, and the message. By preparing medicals for both players in such rapid succession, United are showing a level of intent that goes beyond formality. They're not buying time, they're building a squad with minimal delay. They're not collecting names, they're assembling parts of a system that needs to function cohesively from day one. The double medical is part of a broader shift. United are choosing to act early, decisively, and with alignment between footballing philosophy and recruitment. The decision also reflects the high stakes of the coming season. After years of inconsistency, false dawns, and internal turmoil, this summer is not about trial and error, it's about results. The Premier League waits for no one, and United know that a strong start is essential, not only to build momentum, but to restore belief. That means players must be fit, ready, and integrated long before the opening whistle. Medical tests in this context are not merely about health. They are about trust, timing, and transition. They mark the official beginning of a new chapter for each player, a green light for their journey into a team being reshaped around clarity and commitment. Every hour between now and pre-season kickoff is being treated as critical. That level of precision hasn't always been the club's hallmark, but it is now becoming a necessity. This approach also supports Amorim's vision. The Portuguese manager is known for his emphasis on discipline, detail, and tactical intelligence. He needs players who are not just talented, but mentally and physically aligned with his demands. Preparing a seamless onboarding process for Cunha and Mbeumo, starting with synchronized medicals, ensures that they can be integrated into training, tactical drills, and system briefings without lag. It's not just about fitness, it's about functionality. More than anything, the double medical highlights a shift in mentality. Manchester United are no longer chasing transfer market glamour. They're chasing efficiency, purpose, and system-driven success. The days of waiting until the final days of the window to force deals through are being replaced by proactive, intentional planning. Cunha and Mbeumo are part of a puzzle being assembled early, carefully, and with conviction. For United fans, this should offer encouragement. For too long, windows have passed with uncertainty, confusion, and short-term solutions. But this summer feels different. The double medical isn't just a moment in the process. It's a statement. Manchester United are back to thinking ahead, back to setting the pace rather than reacting to it. The urgency with which these moves are being finalised speaks volumes about the club's new direction. No more waiting until deadline day. No more panic buys. The process has begun early, with clarity. Each move is tied directly to the vision of manager Ruben Amorim, a coach known for discipline, structure, and purposeful play. For Amorim's system to work, integration must begin immediately, and that's why these medicals matter. They aren't the end of a transfer. They are the start of implementation. This is especially critical given the state of the squad coming out of last season. Fatigue, lack of cohesion, and tactical disarray plagued United for months. The only way forward now is with players who are not just fit, but fit for purpose. Players who know their roles, understand the manager's expectations, and are physically and mentally prepared to execute from day one. Mbeumo and Cunha won't be eased in slowly. They're being signed to contribute immediately, and perhaps most importantly, back to doing things with a purpose. Victor Gyokeres rules out one move amid Manchester United summer transfer links. Victor Gyokeres is set to leave Sporting Lisbon this summer and has been heavily linked with a move to the Premier League, with Manchester United and Arsenal both keen. Manchester United-linked striker Victor Gyokeres has ruled out a move to a Nordic country this summer, stating he's acclimatised to the Lisbon weather. The former Coventry City man is set to depart Sporting Lisbon in a high-profile transfer, with speculation rife about his next club. The 27-year-old had an impressive 2024/25 season, netting 53 goals and providing 13 assists in 51 matches, helping Sporting secure a league and cup double. His goal-scoring prowess has attracted significant attention, with Arsenal and Manchester United believed to be watching on intently. Arsenal are claimed to be considering a £60 million bid for the Swedish international, who would demand wages exceeding £200,000 per week, while they also contemplate the signing of RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko. United have also shown interest in Gyokeres, who previously played under manager Ruben Amorim at Sporting. Initially, it seemed unlikely that Gyokeres would make the move to Old Trafford due to their absence from Champions League football next season. However, this factor seems less significant now, potentially paving the way for a reunion with Amorim at United. One thing is certain, though, Gyokeres has no desire to return to Sweden. After living in a warm country, it would be difficult, he told Swedish Vogue, where he expressed his fondness for Portuguese culture. In Sweden, people work hard during the week and only socialise on the weekends. Here there is more life during the week. They have dinners with friends, a glass of wine on Monday. I like that. Gyokeres withdrew from the Sweden squad for this week's friendlies against Hungary and Algeria, sparking rumours that he is avoiding potential injuries ahead of a transfer. However, manager John Dahl Tomasson has dismissed these claims. Number, he felt a minor injury and our medical team was already aware of it, and we decided together to release him, said Tomasson. I spoke to Victor last week. He hasn't trained much in the past few weeks and was experiencing some discomfort due to a minor injury. I was pleased to see him and have him with us at this training camp. It speaks volumes about Victor and his eagerness to participate. We're considering it a replacement and need to discuss it further. Ideally, all players would be available. Gyokeres himself has remained tight-lipped about his future plans. When asked about his future after Sporting's final match of the season, he responded, "Let's see. It's difficult for me to say because, well, it's football and you never know what might happen over the summer. So, for me to say anything more than that is impossible." When questioned specifically about Arsenal, he added, "I don't know, I just focus on this. I've tried to concentrate on the recent matches because they're so important and I don't want to think about anything else." Gyokeres has made it clear that after adapting to life in Portugal, both on and off the pitch, the idea of going back to a colder, more rigid climate doesn't align with his personal and professional growth. It's not just the sunshine or the slower pace of Southern European life, it's about rhythm, mindset, and an environment that complements ambition. After living in a warm country, it would be difficult, he said in a recent interview, not just ruling something out, but revealing a key insight into what kind of environment fuels him. That level of clarity sends a strong signal to clubs. This is a player who knows what he wants, and that extends far beyond the pitch. The links to Manchester United, therefore, carry a deeper layer of possibility. The Premier League represents intensity, competition, and visibility at the highest level. For a player like Gyokeres, who thrives under pressure and rises to occasion after occasion, it makes sense. But it's not just about the league. It's about timing, trajectory, and trust. United are in a transitional phase, reshaping, recalibrating, and looking to inject new energy into their attack. Gyokeres, with his relentless work ethic and proven end product, fits that profile. His potential move isn't about escaping Sporting Lisbon or chasing a new paycheck. It's about momentum. He's in the prime of his career, sharper than ever, and hungry for the next challenge that matches his current level. The purpose behind such a move would be clear: to carry that same intensity, that same killer instinct into a bigger spotlight and prove it holds up under even more scrutiny. And the motivation isn't just sporting. So yeah, if anything is true, we'll see in the summer.